What is going on? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Hope everybody's having a good start to the new year. But the transfer portal is in full effect, as we've talked about in the last like 5 or 6 videos I've put out. And Florida State is in the mix for a few quarterbacks. There are a few quarterbacks taking visits to Florida State. We all know that Florida State needs a quarterback. They're targeting the quarterback position in the transfer portal. It's just who are they going to go out and get? So there are 3 candidates that I know Florida State is at least looking at, and I think they're pushing for 2 of them, one of 2, and we're going to go over those right now, real quick. Not going to go too in depth, but just kind of give my thoughts and opinions on each player and potentially the fit. So the first one is UNLV quarterback Anthony Colandrea. So he was in Florida State yesterday for a visit. He was in Tallahassee yesterday for a visit. And I've heard it went well. I don't know because I don't really have inside sources to Florida State, but I have heard that the visit went well. I know Colandrea is taking a visit to Georgia Tech today, and we'll probably have a decision later tonight, I would assume. It's probably between Georgia Tech and Florida State. Florida State seems like the front runners right now, but who knows what will go down during a official visit. But Anthony Colandrea, I'm a big fan of Anthony Colandrea. You know, he was a former Virginia player, transferred to UNLV after he was kind of surrounded by some lackluster talent at Virginia, so you didn't really get to see his true potential. As he got to UNLV, he wasn't the starter at first. UNLV starter went down. Anthony Colandrea came in since the first game of the season and lit it up. I mean, he won MAC Player of the Year. We'll take a dive into his stats in just a second, but I watched a lot of him. The eye test says he's very good. He's a gamer. Like, he can get the job done with his legs. He can do it through the air, and there's still room to grow as well. And you have a few years control with him, I believe. I think Colandrea is a good player. I think it's a good fit for Florida State. I think it's a more polished version of Thomas Castellanos, if I had to say. Like, just something wild to say. He's more polished as a passer, I would say. But he can use his legs pretty similar, to be honest. I think his run game is very underrated, and you won't hear that as much in his recruitment as you would hear about his passing game. His run game is a big factor, and I've watched him win games for UNLV simply using his legs, like when he needed to. He's a clutch player. So 3,459 yards, which 14th in the country, 23 touchdowns through the air, 9 interceptions, 69.6 QBR. I want to get into some of his rushing stats. So his rushing stats won't jump out, but trust me, I watched it. He can get it done. He can get it done on the ground. Plenty. I mean, I watched him break out several long runs, several clutch runs when he needs to. Like, he's not a run first quarterback, but when he needs to run, he's gonna run. I mean, his first game, 93 yards rushing. He had another one, 87 yards rushing against Boise State, 66 against Boise State. Yeah, like I said, the numbers won't really jump out to you, but just go watch him. The kid has wheels. Like, he's a really good player. I think Anthony Colandrea is a really good player. I like the fit for Florida State. I think it would be a big pickup if you could get him. Now, how will he translate to the ACC? Because he's played in the ACC before. I don't know. It's tough because I think Florida State fans can even agree it's been pretty tough for Florida State at the quarterback position. I think it was mainly the talent that you're bringing in. I do think Colandrea is better than DJ Lagway that you brought in a few years ago. I think Colandrea is a more polished player than Tommy Castellanos as well. So I would expect more success out of him than what you've seen in the past. I do know Florida State does get a lot of hate for not being able to develop a quarterback, and I understand that. And I think some fans could probably understand that as well. But like I said, I think that was more or less the guys that you bring in rather than you being able to develop them. And I think Colandrea is more capable of being developed. I think he has more room to grow than some of the other guys. So the next one that we're going to get into, he's taking a visit today. As you're watching this, he is in Tallahassee right now, and that is DJ Lagway. So I'm sure Florida State fans have watched DJ Lagway because, one, you may live in the state of Florida. Two, you probably know a good bit about the Florida Gators as well. Now, I don't know what Florida State fans are going to think about this. I truly want to know what you guys think about this. I'm curious to see how this would fit. I'm not so sure of the fit here. Now, DJ, I think DJ's a good player. Did he show it at Florida? No, not really. Like you saw you were kind of let down by his play at Florida. But he was a 5-star for a reason. He was the number one recruit in his class at the quarterback position for a reason. The kid's an athlete. I don't know. I think he has a high ceiling. Florida just wasn't the right spot for him. Will Florida State be? I don't know. I know they're making a push for him because I think the main reason they're making a push for him is they know his ceiling. And I think a lot of teams in the country are looking at DJ Lagway and saying, I can bring him in, I can fix him, because they see what's messed up with him, they see where he can improve, and they still see where he can become a very good player. If you look at his ceiling, some people out there may tell you that his ceiling is one of the top quarterbacks in the country, and that's kind of basing off rankings as well. I wouldn't go that far in saying he could be one of the best in the country, but I'm saying he could be a very good quarterback. I still think he could potentially one day be an NFL quarterback if he transfers to the right situation, gets developed how he should be developed. Like teams like LSU are in on him. If you see LSU in on a quarterback, you know there's a ceiling somewhere, because Lane Kiffin is pretty much a quarterback guru, as we've seen. Like he can spot quarterback talent from miles away. Look at what he did with Trinidad Chambliss. Look at what he did with Jackson Dart before these guys were getting any major playing time. So he sees something in DJ Lagway, and I think Florida State probably sees the same thing. So that's why you're bringing him in on a visit and probably making a big push for him. As far as other schools in on Lagway, I know Baylor is in on Lagway because he's from that area. I think they're still the favorite, but I do think Florida State is up there as well. He's not visiting for no reason. That's all I'm going to say. Florida State is definitely on the table, and it wouldn't even shock me if they became the favorite. But right now, I do think Baylor is still the favorite. As far as other teams in on them, I'm not too sure. I know Louisville was, but Louisville's out now because they just got Lincoln Kienholz. So if you're Florida State and you do want DJ Lagway, you're sitting in a pretty good spot. Right now, it looks like Colandrea or Lagway, and that's just how it is right now. Now, if you look at his stats, there are some turnover issues, and I think that was one of the biggest things that stood out for DJ at Florida this year was his turnover issues. Like we look at, I think it was an LSU game, he had 5 interceptions or something like that. Where is it? Kentucky, he had 3. He got benched in that game. 5 interceptions against LSU. Not what you want to see. Not at all what you want to see. So there are some turnover issues. But like I said, when you look at you can see the upside, you can see the downside. Downside is you don't develop him at all. He stays kind of how he is, has these turnover issues. The upside is you fix him. It's obviously some mechanical issues, probably a lot to do with some confidence issues as well in that Florida offense. I think you can change that. If you get the right coach, get the right development, I think DJ could be a very good player. And if Florida State does land him, I really like the pickup. Like I said, the fit does. I'm kind of concerned about the fit. Not really concerned, but I do wonder about the fit. But I do think that DJ could be a very good player. And if Florida State does land him, I think it's a good pickup. I think it's a very good pickup if you're banking on upside. So we'll jump into the last one, and that is Ashton Daniels. So Ashton Daniels, he looked pretty good for Auburn for a little while. Now, is he completely polished? No. Is he the perfect quarterback? No. Would he be a good quarterback? He could be. He could be. I think this is more of a move that Florida State's kind of taken these last few years. Like, I would compare this one more to Tommy Castellanos and DJ Uiagalelei. I'd probably have Ashton Daniels a little higher actually, because I wasn't really too high on either of those guys. But I mean, he came in for Auburn, looked pretty good, started winning them a few games. Um, but there's still some concerns as well. There's still some concerns there. So we'll jump into the stats. As you see, the numbers aren't going to pop at all because he didn't play much. He didn't play much at all. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. So if you want to bring him in for 1 year, then that, I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing you could do. Because is Florida State realistically looking to, or I know they're looking to compete, but is Florida realistically, or Florida State, are they realistically in the running for a playoff spot or a national championship next year? I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know if they're quite there yet. I know that's the goal, and Florida State fans might hate me for saying it, but I'm not sure you're there quite yet. I mean, that's not a knock either. That's just me being brutally honest on my opinion. And I could be totally wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But anyways, Ashton Daniels, about 800 yards last year, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like I said, didn't